Man, you better stop playing on my top, man. Y'all know it's sport, man. I'm 10 toes down. I hold it down.
YNW Bortlen, whose real name is Cortland Henry, has recently made headlines by accepting a plea deal in connection to the YNW Melly double murder case. This development has sent shockwaves through the rap community, as Bortlen's decision to cooperate with prosecutors could significantly impact Melly's upcoming retrial. The case stems from the 2018 shootings that killed YNW Sackchaser and YNW Juvie, two associates of Melly, inside a vehicle. Melly, real name Jamal Demons, and Bortlen were both charged with the murders, but the plea has shifted the dynamics dramatically. In a jail call that surfaced after the plea, Bortlen expressed frustration and a sense of betrayal. He said something along the lines of telling people to stop messing with him, emphasizing that he knows it's all part of the game, but he's already down 10 years. He mentioned being young and licensed, perhaps referring to his youth and inexperience in navigating the legal system. He urged others to hold it down and stay solid, noting how quickly hatred can arise. This call seemed like an attempt to rally support or counter rumors, especially after an email from the court system highlighted concerns for his safety due to his cooperation. The Florida court system issued a statement expressing worry about Bortlen's well-being in jail. As predicted by some observers, he took the plea deal and agreed to a proffer, meaning he's providing information to prosecutors in exchange for leniency. His sentence includes 10 years in prison plus 6 years of probation, minus any credit for time served and gain time. Attorneys involved in a related civil case have already requested his deposition, citing the plea and proffer agreement. The email noted urgency, asking for it within 30 days, and raised safety concerns. It also questioned whether his lawyers still represent all defendants, implying potential conflicts. Prosecutors believe Bortlen might face retaliation in jail before he can fully deliver his incriminating statements against Melly. This fear prompted the safety alert. Bortlen's jail message appeared to respond directly to that email, trying to downplay or counter it. He repeated pleas to stop the games, insisting everyone knows what's happening, and ended with a call to free his associate, perhaps referring to Melly or someone else close. This plea could jeopardize Bortlen's rap career upon release, as the snitching label often sticks in the industry. DJ Academics, a prominent commentator, broke down the situation, explaining that Bortlen pled no contest to both charges, requiring him to provide a factual basis, essentially admitting his role and accessory after the fact. This confirms the underlying crime occurred, which is central to Melly's charges. Academics compared it to a gun-to-the-head deal, similar to those involving rappers like Gunna, where cooperation fills in prosecutorial gaps without directly naming names, but still providing damning details. Academics pointed out that Melly's defense has argued the state failed to prove it was a murder inside the car rather than a drive-by, and also questioned the perpetrator's identity. Bortlen's plea as accessory after the fact acknowledges the murder happened and that he assisted in covering it up afterward. This validates the timeline and events, even if he doesn't explicitly finger Melly. From Bortlen's perspective as someone inside the vehicle, his account would detail how Sackchaser and Juvie died, disproving the drive-by theory and sealing Melly's fate. Prosecutors can verify truthfulness during the proffer, as inconsistencies could void the deal. During sentencing, it was clear the judge was impressed by the negotiation. Bortlen faced multiple life sentences, but got 10 years with time served, a massive reduction. The judge outlined the terms: no contest pleas to accessory counts in the 2019 case and all 4 counts in the 2023 case. In exchange, 2 first-degree murder charges were dropped nolle prosequi, and he was adjudicated guilty on the lesser charges, leading to the 10-year prison term. The judge remarked he didn't know how the lawyers achieved this, calling it an extraordinary resolution. Attorneys like Bradford Cohen, who represents Lil Wayne and Kodak Black, stated that Bortlen has bitten the cheese, slang for turning informant, and is likely to flip on Melly. Cohen described it as a triple Lindy, a high-risk flip, predicting Bortlen will reveal all he knows about the double murder. After years awaiting trial, facing life, the 10-year offer means he'll likely be out in about 3 more years. Cohen expected this sooner, but noted Bortlen held out initially. Even 6i multiplied by 9ine, known for his own cooperation, commented that Bortlen's deal means Melly is finished. He referenced past warnings about rap figures fearing his influence. In court, the judge clarified that any post-plea discussions with the state, the proffer, were separate from the plea itself. Bortlen confirmed he understood, had consulted his lawyers, and was satisfied with the decision. Offset reacted on social media, tweeting surprise that Melly's best friend is snitching and calling for his release after years locked up. However, Bortlen had little choice. He faced 5 potential life sentences. The judge detailed the original charges: 2 counts of first-degree murder with a firearm, capital felonies, mandatory life; 2 accessory after-the-fact counts up to 30 years each; witness tampering, life possible; directing criminal activities, life; and conspiracy to tamper, life, plus 75 years minimum. The plea avoided catastrophe. The deal emerged for 3 key reasons. First, Melly's own lawyer implicated Bortlen during the first trial. In closing arguments, the attorney accused Bortlen of arriving at the hospital, lying about the incident's location and nature, and having gunshot residue on his hands. He was portrayed as the driver with 2 bodies in a bullet-riddled car, changing clothes upon arrival. Forensic evidence showed residue particles on Bortlen's hands, suggesting he fired a weapon. The lawyer even mocked Bortlen's claim of not having a phone, saying everyone does. This testimony from Melly's side painted Bortlen as the liar and last person with the victims. A forensic scientist testified to the residue: 0 characteristic particles on the right hand, but 2 two-component ones, and 1 each on the left. Overall, residue was present, linking him to the shooting. The fallout strained their friendship. They haven't spoken since the mistrial. Bortlen tweeted, "Mind games don't work on people like me," with a handshake emoji, hinting at a deal or acceptance. Fast forward, and he took the plea. On the night of the crime, during interrogation, an officer asked Bortlen if he'd reveal the perpetrator if he knew. He hesitated, saying honestly he wouldn't want to be involved, shaking his head no instead of verbalizing. This non-committal response, under pressure, suggested deception. His voice might crack if lying outright. It indicated he knew details but wanted no part, especially if Melly was involved. Prosecutors already have Melly admitting guilt via Gambino account message. "I did that," with a smiley face, followed by queries about aftermath. With Bortlen's cooperation, they closed the loop. Melly was confident pre-plea, even ordering a $100,000 chain for a potential acquittal. Discussions revealed he spent lavishly on cars and jewelry instead of fully on lawyers, despite having funds. Now that confidence wanes, he might not want the chain. The plea setup involved delaying Melly's retrial. The 4th District Court granted a stay, pushing it to January 2027, giving time for the deal. And no communication order separated Melly and Bortlen completely, no contact, even via lawyers, allowing prosecutors to extract info without interference. Joint trials benefit the state for efficiency and cross-incrimination, but defenses prefer severance to shift blame. Here, guilt phases a line as capital crimes, with penalty only for Melly if convicted. Bortlen's testimony could confirm positions in the car, locations, and events, dooming Melly. Bortlen has motive to cooperate. Evidence from his home raid showed witness tampering. He was arrested on a Broward warrant for misleading conduct from April to July 2023 during Melly's trial to withhold testimony. Notes from the raid depicted jurors' positions and descriptions from the first trial day. After seeing Melly's lawyers blame him, he sketched this at home, possibly planning interference, but it was sloppy, found in his suitcase. Academics called it amateurish, like leaving surveillance tape in a DVD player. If the jury had convicted Melly, Bortlen might have tampered. Now it pressures him to flip fully. Bortlen can validate new evidence, like why Frito Bang picked Melly up roadside at 4:42 a.m. instead of heading to the hospital with Bortlen and Chris Thomas. Melly sent drop pins to Frito, moving slightly, suggesting evasion. Digital data beyond calls supports this. Prosecutors also cite a Facebook post with Young Thug, linking Melly to YSL via slang like slat, 5-point stars, snakes, and hand signs, hashtagging YNW for life. Melly yelled in court against his lawyer's advice to admit the evidence, saying he's not in a gang and it can't be proven. He pushed for an automatic stay, but it highlighted aggravators like gang ties. An Exo Block member's testimony emerged. King Von, Melly's friend before his death, shared that Melly sought advice on handling extortion from his two friends, implying Sackchaser and Juvie. Vaughn was upset when posted about questioning trust. To ensure life for Melly, prosecutors targeted his girlfriend, Mariah Hamilton, who fled pre-trial. She was arrested at Miami airport upon return, held briefly, then offered freedom for testifying. She accepted, posting thanks to her village and noting God's plan. Her iCloud has messages and voicemails from Melly via jail phone, pressuring her not to testify, witness tampering, carrying life.